Hey guys, I'm Robin. I teach people tools and techniques to master their life. I'm a tarot reader, a certified hypnotist, certified NLP coach, certified Reiki master, certified life coach. If you're interested in working with me, I have individual and group programs that you could join. Go to my website and download the free self-concept workshop and check out all the sales that I'm running this month. The best value is the Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life program paired with VIP group coaching. I think you'll find that your needs will be met completely with those programs. You can check them all out here. And make sure you follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the other social medias. I love you guys. Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be on my top 10 life-changing mindset and success books. All right, so I'm just going to give you my top 10. I can go on for days. It was difficult to choose just 10. And of course, I have some notes here. Chemo brain is real for sure. All right, so I just want to jump right in and get started. I get really excited when I'm talking about these books because they've definitely had such an impact on my own life. The first one, and these are not in priority order. Again, it's top 10. They're not in priority order. You could ask me today which book I would recommend, and tomorrow I'd give you an answer, and then tomorrow I might tell you something completely different, but based off of this list. You know, it's going to just depend on the day and what's going on in my life. The first one that I would recommend is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And if you go down into the description, I have links to every one of these books. You can get them on Amazon. But it's Atomic Habits. And aside from learning about habits, why we have habits, the science behind habits, habit stacking, how to change habits, James Clear does a great job with a lot of statistics and studies behind habits and habit stacking, which I love. I love that he incorporated a lot of statistics about this. One of the biggest things that made an impact for me was compounding. So the compounding impact. So let's say, for instance, you change one habit today. Within 1 year, you have a 30% improvement in your life. One habit improves your life, a compounded impact by 33. It's like 33%. Okay, 32, 33%. That's a lot. That's a big change. So imagine if every month or every quarter, you just change one thing in your life. Imagine what your life looks like in 1 year. And in coaching, I teach my people, I teach to look at their timeline, look at the timeline that you're living, and always imagine that there's an upward incline in your life. And the more habits that you change, the more improvements that you make to yourself, to your life, that upward trajectory, your life is just going to continue to improve. Why wouldn't you do that? So anyway, Atomic Habits, James Clear is number 1. So number 2 is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And I love this. I have this from probably the first time I ever read the book. I got this little card, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I live by these habits, and I pull this card out all the time. The first habit is be proactive. Habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. Habit number 3, put first things first. 4 is think win-win. 5, seek first to understand, then be understood. 6 is synergize, and 7 is sharpen the saw. If you live by these habits, I'm going to tell you, you're going to make your life a hell of a lot easier than what you have today. I read this book about way over 20 years ago, and it has been very influential in my life, especially in client meetings, when I was in the corporate world, especially with resolving conflict, right? Thinking win-win. Seek first to understand. If I go into a conversation with someone and it's a difficult conversation, I want to understand, well, why is this happening? Tell me from your perspective what's going on so I can help you. All right. So that's highly recommend this book. Number 3 is going to be Breaking the Habit of Being You by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And this is just basically, you have an identity that you're living in today, but you want a reality over here that looks very different. You want to be wealthy. You want to be married. You want to do this. You want to travel. You want to do all these things. It's a different identity that you have to let go of the old identity and become the new identity in order to have that life. So that's, in essence, what the book is about. Number 4, I read this when I first started going through like my awakening several years ago. It's Power versus Force by Dr. David R. Hawkins. Mind-blowing, absolutely life-changing book. Specifically, his work on the scale of consciousness and understanding that. I'm not into like a lot of the religious stuff. He talks about some religious stuff in the book. That's not really my thing, but the majority of the book really resonated for me and helped me change my life. So that was number 4. And number 5 is my book, Awaken the Creator Within. You can get it over on Amazon. I talk about my own awakening. I talk about the things that I learned, the things that I've gone through, and my perspective on how to become the creator of your own life. Highly recommend it. You can get it on Amazon for $11.99, or I think you can download it for $1. Number 6 is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And this basically is just telling you how you want to approach people, how you want to speak to people, the identity that you want to become in order for you to win friends and influence people. Now, win friends may not be that important to you, but influencing people is a very good skill to have, especially in the workforce. In the corporate world, I was able to become an influencer within any company that I worked for because I read this book years and years ago, and I applied these techniques, okay? A lot of the women in some of the companies that I talked to would say to me, how do you do it? Why do men respect you? If I go into a meeting and I try to talk, I'm always shut down by men. I'm not trying to pick on men, but I'm just, explaining this is some of the feedback that I would get. And I would just tell them, I just learned what I needed to do in order to become the influencer in the room, the respected, trusted advisor. So that book is going to guide you on that. Highly recommend. The next one is it's number 7, but it is my favorite book. It's my favorite nonfiction book on the planet. And it is Rejection Proof by Jia Jiang. I got it in the mail. I thought it was going to teach me, this is years ago. I broke up with a guy that I was dating, and I was like, I totally felt rejected, totally felt upset. And I was like, I need to learn how to handle rejection. And so I went online and I found this book. I said, oh, this is going to help me become rejection proof. It is not what I expected at all. I got the book in the mail. I read it cover to cover in that same day. I've read it several times since then. And one page I would be laughing, and then the next page I would be crying because it was just so emotional. Gia takes you on this journey of becoming rejection proof, and the insights and statistics that he provides throughout the book is just mind blowing. But again, I have it listed here with How to Win Friends, because it's a lot of the same type of material. It's not the same material, but it's the same type of material. He found out that you can ask up to 13 times. There's a threshold for yes. Okay. So you could be told no up to 13 times on average, and then you'll finally get a yes. All right. So there's a lot of statistics in this book that really changed the way that I looked at rejection itself. and then just learn to have fun with it, because he really did learn to have fun with it. And then learn how to approach people, learn how to ask for things, learn how to collaborate with people. So it's an amazing book. I can't recommend it enough. Number 8 is something I read like a year or two ago, and it was, again, another mind-blowing, conscious shifting book. And it's The Courage to be Disliked, and it's by Fumitake Kogo and Ichiro Kishimiro. I hope I said those correctly. Again, I have everything linked down in the description box. The Courage to be Disliked. So it's based off of Adlerian psychology. And if you know anything about the fathers of psychology, you have your Freud, you have your Jung, and then you have Adler. And the way that he breaks down, again, it was very conscious shifting for me. The way that they explain relationships based off of Adlerian psychology, the way that you're either collaborating with your partner or you're competing with them. So think about every discussion that you're having with the people around you, and it could be your romantic partner, it could be your friends, your family. Are you collaborating with them, or are you competing with them? Because more often than not, and I went back and I did an audit of all these conversations that I've had, and I can see in the tense relationships, we're competing in those relationships. And the way that I was able to transform those relationships was to step back out of the competition, and that goes with the think win-win. Okay, if I'm going into a conversation every single time that I have to be right, I have to win, I have to be the one that's always proven right, and so is the other person, what are we doing? Why are we even in relationship? And again, it doesn't necessarily just mean a romantic partner. Why are we even doing this? Why do I even want to be around you if it's always a challenge? If I always have to try to prove myself? I don't want to be in competition with the people that I love. And if I'm in competition with someone and it's because I just don't like them, then I stopped being friends with them. I stopped being in a relationship with them. I ended those relationships. I'm like, these are just energy stealers for me. Anyway, that's just a snippet of what's in the book. But again, mind-blowing book. Loved it. Highly recommend. The next one really shifted my mindset about money. And it's Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. He talks about situations and what his rich dad would do and what his poor dad would do. And it really helps you understand. I grew up poor. Okay. So the only models that I had in my life, the only way that I looked at wealth was based off of other poor people. Okay. The habits and behaviors and even the speech was all from poor people. Whereas if you're wealthy and you grow up around wealthy people, their habits, their behaviors, their speech it's very different. It's very clear in the book why this dad is rich and this dad is poor. Okay, so it really teaches you about those habits and to have that mindset shift about wealth. Last but certainly not least, it's the book that I recommend to everyone, and it's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book literally has changed my life, specifically the definite chief aim, which is like your goal statement that you're going to make, and then the self-confidence formula, which is literally a contract that you sign to yourself that you'll never stop going for your goals until you achieve them. So it's literally like a contract that you're designing. But Napoleon Hill went out and interviewed, I think it was like 500 millionaires at the time, back in the day when this was written. Went and interviewed all of these millionaires and asked them, how did they become a millionaire? How did they become so successful? And the book is based off of all of that data, all of that information that he gathered up. Okay. So again, highly recommend Think and Grow Rich. go, even just listen to it. If you don't want to buy it, just listen to it. You can go over to YouTube and get a free audiobook if you want. All right. If you like this content, make sure to like this video. If you have any questions for me, post them down in the comments. I love you guys. Have a great day.